Thanks. You're gonna make me look like amateur. You're gonna be all bright, and then there's gonna be me in the darkness.
Hold on. Oh. Nah, I need that second. That might work though. Now if I switch this big light on.
Come on. Let's see who's in.
That might be the one. That might be the one, mate.
We'll be missing it today. Catch up tonight. Yeah, Lucy messaged me as well. Lucy, still the first one in though. Always the first one in.
First prize for you.
RS, good morning. My guy, Simon, the gentleman marketeer. Mate, he's smashing out videos. How consistent has he been?
I know, man. I need to get some crime videos out this week because I keep seeing him posted. I'm like, I'm being so lazy with the channel. Like, sort your life out.
Does like 1,000 different things as well. Hey, folks, I'm like, Vinny's in.
Jenny.
I was nearly gonna share what I said there. Good morning, Chris. Samantha, we got Derek, we got Andy, all the guys are here. Everyone's in. Right, sip of the old coffee. But mate, like this is probably the first week where we've spoke like consistently, probably every single day on a live, because we've been doing the research, and I want to go on to that in a minute because I want to find out how was your car booze.
Sorry, my phone light is taking control of my mic and everything. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, don't worry about that. I was just speaking to myself.
No, it's all right.
Can you hear me all right?
Phone tried to just connect up. Yeah, man, the boot sale was quality. Went to 2 on Saturday. The second one on Saturday was a lot better than the first. Because I always go to the second car boot feeling like, I'm going to go because I should. I'm not expecting much. And I started... Actually, Benji might be in, so I don't want to give away any secrets. I started at the far end where the new cars had recently come in. And I spoke to a woman and I saw she had like a Paul Smith shirt, a Versace shirt, which had one of them 30 logo numbers on it, so I could check it there and then. All legit. And then she had like replay jeans, nudie jeans, Levi jeans, like all that good stuff I love picking up. And she kept putting out stuff and stuff and stuff. So anyway, I picked up a huge bundle. I think I got 9 pieces and it was like 55 quid. So pretty happy with that. So the IKEA bag was full up. And then I'd done well with a couple more stalls. But at the first car boot sale, I probably only picked up like 5 or 6 items. At the second car boot sale, I think I picked up 15. And it's strange because you go to the second car boot feeling like you're not going to get the stuff. So Saturday was solid. And I was speaking to Benji actually, and I said to him like, oh, mate, I need to be getting like 50 on Sunday. I'm going to 3 car boot sales. I need to get like 50 items. I don't want to pick up stuff for the sake of it, but I need some stock because last week I was really struggling with stock. And I went to Dirty Dunton, which is always just crazy. I turn up there, mate, and you know when you get out of the van, I'm just buzzing. I'm like, I'm here. This is epic, this place. This place is different level. So I went there, and I went to one after on the way to the third one. So my plan is every other week to go to Dirty Dunton, but then to drive back and find 2 car boot sales on the way back. So I went to one called Cuffley, which when I turned up, you told me it's small. When I turned up, there's probably about 4 rows. And similar story. One store, I picked up so much. If you were on the live yesterday, you would have seen it. I picked up so much All Saints, like good stuff. Loads of Hawaiian shirts, things like this style, like Hawaiian shirts. I don't think this is an really All Saints one, but you know the style I mean. I picked up my first ever, and Chuggles is in. You'll know. First ever Lugley in the wild, which is incredible. And my cost of goods for the whole thing was like £1.50. And I got so much good stuff from there. Then I went on to the third car boot sale. And that car boot sale, and again, I explained this yesterday in the Instagram live, it was absolutely wild. They had a sign in the queuing system. And I put on my Instagram about how I need to get the drone up because, you know, when you're in the queue, and we spoke about it last week, and Kaylee suggested about flying the drone up to see the stock. I wish I had it on me. Anyway, they had a sign on the outside of the car boot basically saying, thieves operate here. So keep your like possessions safe. So obviously they must have constant problems with people stealing at the car boot. So I get in the car boot and I see a rail full of clothing and I try to get past a guy and he's just standing there. And I'm like, oh, excuse me, mate. And he's standing there. I'm like, excuse me, I'm trying to get past to that rail. And he just stood there. So anyway, I kind of just stepped past him. And as I stepped past him, I saw him bend down and pick up an iPad. And I thought, oh, maybe he works on the stall. So there's me flicking through the clothing. And I just hear some woman shout like, oi, effing put that down. And start storming down the car boot towards him. And he's trying to put it in his coat. And she's like snatching it off him saying, you don't steal from me. And I'm thinking like, where are we here? Anyway, so she goes off to find security. And they've got proper security at this car boot. SIA badges a lot. And then I walk off and I hear another commotion. So I come back down the aisle and I see some guy, another guy, big guy, storming towards some woman, like trying to square up to a woman. So I like stand there and I put my arm out and said to the guy, like, what are we doing here? It's like a woman. Like, and then the guy behind me is like, that's my wife. Another like reasonably big guy. So I was like, oh, it's going to kick off here. So I'm thinking, first of all, I wish I still filmed at car boot sales because this video is going to bang. Secondly, I'm thinking like there's going to be a fight here. So I grabbed the guy, the husband, and said to him like, oh, mate, come on, it ain't worth it. He went, nah, he's pointing at my wife and he nudges me out of the way. And I kid you not, smacks the guy in the face. Clean punch, square in the face. And by that time, people are like getting involved, pushing people away. Security's come over again, blah, blah, blah. But the crazy thing is, didn't boot this guy out of the car boot sale.
The keys go down and everything.
No, it didn't go down.
Oh.
Like to the side, and then people were there. But didn't kick him out of the car boot sale. And he was friends with the thief guy. So they must operate together. It must be a thing. Anyway, so I was like, two things. I never want to come back to this car boot sale again. It's crazy. But secondly, I'm like, I want to be there every single week.
It's entertaining.
It was quite cool because that started at 10:30. And that was one of them where it's like 10:30, all in together, and that's it. Yeah, I did. I found the roughest car boot.
Wait,
I won't call out the car boot in case it's someone's local. But if you know, you go, you'll know.
I was gonna say you're making my county look ridiculously rough.
Oh yeah, this is where Luke lives, literally right on Luke's doorstep.
I know we can't call. Wait, we won't call out the car boot then. But yeah, this was one thing I wanted to go on as well because I was speaking to you about it. You rung me and you said, right, what time does it open?
Oh yeah,
how far away you were and everything like that. And Chuggle said, how long has the second car boot been open for by the time you get there? So I said it opens at 8 or whatever. I think it was about 10:02 or something.
Yeah, I got there about 20 past 8. I left Dunton at 10:02. So yeah, it was about 20 past 8 I got to the car boot. So I was 20 minutes late into the field. But this bundle of clothing was kind of not obvious. It was on rails. It was just in a box. And I told you yesterday, mate, I walked up to it, saw like basic stuff, and then walked away. And it was about 10 minutes later, I came back right as I was about to leave and was like, let me just have one more look in this box. And when I took off the top layer, that's where I started finding all the All Saints stuff and replay and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's always worth rummaging around. Sometimes you look at it and feel like it's not worth my time because you see the F&F, you see the Primark at the top, and you're like, it's all going to be like that. But that's really taught me a good lesson to actually just spend 5 more minutes and just rummage. Because
in one of his videos, I think there was like Sheen, there was loads of that kind of stuff, and then he was digging through. At the bottom, loads of 90s vintage t-shirts. So it just shows I know that's a different situation, but the same thing could easily happen over here because especially some women, they might like Sheen, but then they might like that for just like wear and then sounds terrible, but just chuck it away. But then they might like the higher end stuff as well. But yeah, getting there like 20 past 8. I've got this weird thing about if I'm not in the queue or if I'm at least like halfway,
it's gone.
I feel good. But if I get there and everyone's in, I've got this weird like FOMO feeling and I hate it.
That's so natural though, I think, for every single reseller. Because that's what I'm saying about my Saturday one. They have 7:30 early entry, 8:30 for everyone else, and I got there at like 10 past 8. So I've got two options. I either stand in a queue for 20 minutes and pay £2 less, or I paid a £3 and get in at that point. So I'm like, yeah, £3. I don't care if I'm late. And you've got to remember a few things at car boots. Not everyone's looking for the same thing. And also, people don't spot stuff that you see. So I'll see, and Benji's a good example of this. He'll come up to me and be like, oh, mate, look at all this stuff I've got. And I'm like, where did you see that? And he's like, oh, 2 stalls down. And I've just been at that stall and didn't see any of it. So then you start thinking like, oh, I definitely would have picked it up if I saw it. But I think your eyes are just drawn to different things. So, yeah, I think that's a common thing for a lot of resellers to feel like if you're not there at opening, there's no point going. I used to feel that way.
Also, also, have you seen these early entry fees that are absolutely ridiculous? I don't know. I don't know if you guys around the country.
Mine aren't too bad. I mean, I pay £3 on Saturday morning for early entry, and yeah, £3 at both car boot sales Saturday for early entry. Sunday is £2 for everyone. You pay on the way out. Dunton's 50p, which is just criminal how cheap it is. But yeah, I haven't come across. I know you said that you've come across like the £10 early entries or £15 early entries. I don't think I could justify paying a tenner to get in early at that car boot. I'll probably just find a different car boot to go to.
Mate, I want to know whether you're in the chat, whether you're watching the replay. What is the most expensive early entry fee you've seen? Because I've seen £15 and I've seen hundreds of people pay it. So I've seen a section of the car boot where the early entry people come in and they pay £15. Like, I'm not like, that's ridiculous. I'm looking at this car boot thing and it's obscenely big. It grows, it just keeps on going. It's like London, it keeps on going back, keeps on going back. But then for the first hour, hour and a half, 15 quid. Another one I go to is a tenner. Have you seen one that's more than that? Because these car boots, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, right, you've got the early entry people. So you've got the early bird, 10, 15, whatever it is, whether it's where you are at a fiver. Then you've got the main people coming in at like 3-4 quid. Then you've got the people after a certain point where it's like £1. Then you've got the cars, the vans, the lorries. I'm thinking this place must be taking 15, 20, 30k. And then I was speaking to people in the queue on this one that I went to. On the way back, twice, they've been done by gypsies.
Wow. Yeah,
all the cash gone.
So bad. I think for me, the max I'll be willing to pay, and I think the max I'll probably have paid is a fiver. A fiver for early entry. I think, do you know what? Even at a fiver, you kind of feel like, oh, that's quite steep. But I think a fiver is reasonable. If you want to get in an hour or 2 hours before the general public to have the edge, I think a fiver is worth paying for. And I think a fiver is a good calculated risk. When you're into 15 quid, like there has been car boot sales I fired a blank at where I kind of say, oh, I could buy this for the sake of it, but I don't, what's the point? Like, I don't need that, or I'm not going to make profit on this. So there is boot sales where I've walked away and actually come away empty-handed. So you're 15 quid down. Like, yeah, so I think you've got to take the calculated risk on it. Now, if the boot sale's huge, like you say, and you've been there before and you always get great stuff there, that might be worth the gamble. But I think 15 quid's criminal, mate, honestly.
I think I would pay up to, I think I'd pay up to 20, 25 quid.
25 quid?
Yeah.
Just to get into a car boot sale a couple of hours early. Mate, find another car boot sale.
I genuinely think, so if they're set up, they're fully set up an hour before anyone comes in, and you've got 10, 12 rows, do you actually think, so 25 quid, so you can, all you've got to do is get, say you got the 25 quid, so you make, I reckon you've got to pick up 3 or 4 things within that time.
to break even.
I think you could do that. No, I'm saying start making profit. I just think I would genuinely feel like I'm missing out.
Mate, I need to, if you're willing to pay 20, 25 quid early entry, yeah, I need to buy land. I'm going to create, I'm going to create the best car boot in the UK. I'm going to buy some land. Chuggles, you can fund it with me. I know you're rich. We can buy some land and we can chuck a £25 Luke early entry, and all Lukes have to pay £25. I saw Luke resales in there as well. So sorry, mate, you're in on that one as well. But mate, 20 to 25 quid. You're obviously balling out, mate.
No, I still feel like it's worth it. Wait, I want to see what other people. Mine's £5, but you get into that's sick. I mean, like, I'm paying 10, 15 quid to probably get in an hour maximum, hour and a half early.
You live in a posh area, let's just get that confirmed, because I was in your neck of the woods, mate. And even driving past some of them houses, you live in a nice posh area, so maybe they can justify it.
I'm telling you, I've seen £15 early entry, and I've seen hundreds of cars. So I reckon you could easily push that to 20.
It's a lot.
But Dunton and the one on Thursday is free. It's nothing.
Dunton at 50p, it blows my mind. But they've obviously got the right idea, because they attract so many people to that car boot sale. They don't have to up the price. And even if Dunton put the price up for 2 quid, they'll probably get the same amount of people. But the fact it's 50p, And you see the football at Dunham, mate. How they must clear up every single week at that car boot sale with the pitch fees because there's so many sellers, and also the 50p entry for buyers, mate. They're killing it.
I think because the land is so big, it's such a great model.
Yeah.
So basically, you attract so many buyers because it's basically nothing.
Yeah.
And then the pitch fees, I don't know how much the pitch fees are, but they're probably average, maybe slightly above average. So you're going to completely do the pitch fees because people are like, this is the place where buyers come. So it's always going to be full to the brim. Like it's always going to be crazy. And the one on Thursday is exactly the same. The field is gigantic and like it's nothing for buyers. It's actually zero. And then I think the pitch fees are pretty much on average. So it's going to be huge every time.
While you're reading that, reading the chat, sorry, I'm going to try and find the Dunham pitch fees. You have me intrigued now.
Wait, I want to bring this up. Being mugged off if you're paying that to buy at a car boot sale. I'm sticking to my guns. I would still pay 20-25 if it's that big and if I could get in what Andy was saying there, 2 to 2.5 hours. Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, I don't think paying for the early bird. If you are a full-time reseller, I think regardless and paying for the early bird is so worth it because, you know, I've seen, I'm not going to call out names, I've seen a YouTube reseller stand in the queue before to save £2 on getting in early. And by the time they're getting in, I've already picked up, 10 pieces. So I think the money's important. I think 25 quid, 20 quid's a lot, but a tenner I would pay. If I felt like it was a car boot.
But we're thinking about £10-15 profit. You tell it like many everything sellers can make 20 up to £50 on one thing. I would say like the margins are ridiculous. You could probably easily make that on one item. So do you know what I mean? And then you're standing in a queue. So say like Andy there, for instance, you're going to wait 2.5 hours. Say it goes from 20 quid down to £1, but you're standing in a queue or you're not getting there for another 2.5 hours, but everyone's already set up. What do you think about that? I genuinely think like pick up 1 or 2 items, break even, and then you've got a solid 45 minutes to an hour, or maybe even longer than that to get more items. It is criminal, and it honestly sounds ridiculous, but I still feel like it is worth it. And I feel like they're catching on to it. 15 quid, I reckon you'll see higher than that in like years to come. I don't know if anyone out there is already higher than, if you're watching a replay, if you're in here now, if you've seen higher than £15, let me know, like whether it's they're fully set up, whether you're in an hour early, 2 hours early, because it's interesting because they're making so much money.
Jenny's made a great point in the chat there. If you're willing to pay 25, you may as well go in pretending to be a seller, which is so true because I looked there at Dirty Dunham and cars are 12 quid on Sundays and Luton vans are 20 quid. So small vans are 15. So it's between 12 and 20 quid. And with the 20 quid, you're talking about the house clearance size vans. So 20 quid for them is not bad. I think for the football Dunton gets for 20 quid, it's not bad. But Jenny's absolutely right there because they might have, it'll be interesting to know your early bird car boot sale at 15 quid. How much do they charge for a seller to go and sell?
This is the thing, and this is probably why it's no more than 15 quid, probably because of this reason. So whether they could defend against people doing that, you can't really. If there's 2 of you in a van and, do you know what I mean, one of you stays at the store and one of you goes around and buys, you can't defend against that. So yeah, you're probably better off doing that then, because I've seen it where people have done that. They've split it like 3 ways, but they've come in like a little van.
Yeah, so that's another thing. If they're charging per car for early bird, then 25 quid's worth it because you can have 3 or 4 of you who say, do you know what, we'll park 5 minutes down the road, residential area, all jump in my car, we'll pay 25 quid for the car to come in. Then it's worth it. But £25 per person, I think Jenny's spot on there. You're probably better off going in, paying for selling, and just rock up, open your car door, close it, lock your car, and walk off. Because I see so many cars at my car boot sale with nothing set up. And they might set up later on, once they've gone and brought, but I've seen people come in, do that, and drive off.
Yeah.
So people are finding a way around it.
So what do you think then, Chelsea Rooney? Must have a lot of gold and video games at the boot to pay 15 quid. Yeah.
I want gold. I want gold and silver.
I just want the goods. I just want bread and butter. That's what I want.
But then you can always justify it because if you paid, say you paid £20, like there we are, Chris is saying that, I'll pay £20, no problem at all, yeah. if Chris went in there and paid £20 and he picked up a All Saints leather jacket, new with tags for £20, and he's going to sell that for, I don't know, just say 300, then you're going to say it's worth it. But if Chris goes in there and pays £20 and he picks up 3 items for the whole day and he's going to sell them for 60 and he's paid £20 at the car boot, his cost of goods are now 40 quid effectively. It's not worth it. So I think it also depends on your experience and how confident you are to pick things out in the world. Because if you haven't got much confidence of getting loads of good stuff, then £20 a lot of money just to gamble.
Chris knows he's going to clean up though. The thing is, like, it's not so much about going around and picking up X amount of items. It's the time element. Like, I've got 10 rows or I've got 20 rows, but I've got an hour and a half. Like, it's not even. It's like potential for contacts. It's potential for the items. I reckon you'd make your money back like really quickly. But it's just. I mean, it's like all hypothetical, really. I want to know your opinion on it and like their opinion. I want to know if people would pay that, because I've never seen 15 quid before. So when I saw it, I'm like, okay, so that's here, but what about around the country? Is anyone else charging more than that? And what do you get for that? How many hours do you get early? How many like potential stalls are there? Like, because Chris has got good knowledge as well, so he knows that if I'm in there for an hour, hour and a half, and I've got 10, 20 stalls, like, anything could be here, because like in reality, anything could be in this car boot. You have no idea what it is. You might do good, you might do bad. It's just like, give me that hour and a half.
So this is the other caveat to it, and maybe I'll chuck this out to the people. If you're paying £15 entry for early bird, how early do you need to be to justify it compared to the other sellers? Here's one for you. Yeah, so you can pay £15 getting at 6 o'clock. At 6:30, I can pay 10. At 7, I pay 5. Are you paying the £15? So, for instance, you pay £15 for 6 o'clock entry.
Yeah.
I can wait until 6:30 and pay 10. No, let's make it harder. I can wait till 6:30 and pay £5. So, are you having the half an hour edge over the other resellers? Because there will be resellers in the queue who will say, I'm saving myself a tenner, I'll just wait half an hour. Like, there's only so much he can get in half an hour that I can't get. Or do you know what? Half an hour's time, Luke's going to be on row 8 and row 1's going to just finish setting up. Because especially with clothing, I find on my second lap, you see everything. On the first lap, you see a quarter of it. Because I haven't set up the rails yet. You know, most of the time people are building the rails, you're off. And normally at the second lap. So are you willing to pay £25 if they said you get 2 hours? Or if you got half an hour extra compared to someone else who's paying a £5, would you pay the 20 quid? So I think it depends on how early is early bird.
Yeah, I want to see if you're asking me, then I'll let you know. I want to see what they're saying as well. I think for me, let's see what they're saying. So I think for me, £20 every time. I know some weeks I would do bad, but some weeks I'll make it's that potential there. Some weeks you might break even, some weeks you might make a little bit and then you're off. Some weeks you might even make a loss. I think for the potential, it's worth it. And what you said there, paying an extra, was it 5 or 10 for half an hour? Yeah, for me all day. Like, there's no question about that. I personally, I would. I went in at normal times 2 weeks ago and still picked up something for £1 and sold it for that's crazy. See what I mean? Debs is coming with that.
But everyone, this is the thing, mate. Not everyone. I said to you at the start. Not everyone's looking for the same thing, and not everyone knows everything. I mean, exactly. I'm going to mention it because up the coffee machine, that coffee machine, I picked up at. I'll tell you when it was, because I was just leaving the car boot sale, and it was 2 weeks ago I picked it up, and I picked up at 8:30, and I'd been in that car boot sale since 6 a.m. And it was still sitting on the floor. 5 quid for that coffee machine, and it sold yesterday. What was it? 80 quid it sold for, and that had been sitting there for 2 and a bit hours. So all the other resellers might not have known it's worth picking up, or might not have wanted to deal with it, for instance, but you can still find stuff later in the day when all the other people are in, because our one lets in people at 7:30, like the normal general public, for £1. So you've had the general public walking around as well. So it is one of them where it's a numbers game. The more stalls you look at, the more stuff you look at, the more stuff you will potentially find. But like we always say, it just takes one stall. You can come across one stall, spend all your money and go home. and you could be home by 6:30 in the morning. So you just never know.
Yeah, and I think you'll find stuff even on your second, on your third, on your fourth lap round because people are still getting stuff out of their cars. Some people save stuff. So I've probably done 3 or 4 laps and then say I'm off to the next car boot. But say you come in at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, people are still getting stuff out or something that didn't quite hit my metrics or not in my niche completely. And you've picked it up for £1 and sold it for 130. That's going to happen all day long.
I've heard the seller say it, mate. Because a lot of my resellers on my Saturday one, you'll see them, they'll come in the first hour, power hour, and then they'll dip and they'll go to another car boot. And I hang back. I'm like, do you know what? I'll stay here for another hour. And I've heard people say when the normal general public come in at 7:30, they say, oh, now I'm going to get this out because most of the resellers aren't here. Some people do not like selling to the early bird resellers. They wait and they do hold stack in the car. So second, third laps are so key.
Do you think they just want to go it to someone who's actually going to use it, or like they want a better price? Because I'm just like, if you're getting what you say you want for it,
I don't think it's price. I think it's principle for some people. I think people are quite aware that there's people here at the car boot who are here to buy it off them to resell, make a profit, and they'd rather it go to like a family who's going to use it and like be really really happy with it. There's people out there, mate, who actually don't want stuff to go to resellers. It don't matter if they're asking £20 from a reseller or they can get £15 from someone who's going to take it home and use it and the kids are going to enjoy it, for instance. They'll probably take the 15 quid to make someone else happy.
Yeah.
So there is something in that.
That's fair enough. Even kilo sales in Bristol, you've got to buy a ticket for 7. That's crazy. 7 to 15 quid early bird options too. Then you still got to pay 20 quid a kilo.
There's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah, when I first went into clothing, I was trying like rag houses, I was trying charity shops, and then I stumbled across kilo sales. And at the time, it was £12 a kilo, and that was pre-loved kilo. I didn't really venture out into any other brands or companies, but they was free entry if you got the early bird ticket. So it was free. It still is free now. And then if they sell out, you then pay 1 or 2 quid. But then you paid 12 quid. But if you bought the kilos in advance, you pay a tenner. So now it's 20 quid. I think if you buy them in advance, it's like 17.50 or 15 quid. But they're in my town, and the queues are still all the way down the road.
I can imagine.
Kilo. But I'm thinking, is that more person? Yeah, is that more
for
like
end user?
Yeah, is that more for end user? Because I feel like you can see a Depop seller. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you can see a Depop seller. And yeah, it's just that vintage, like baggy jeans, that look. And that's what I see when I used to go. And I feel like a lot of them guys still go to it. But yeah, 20 quid a kilo. Like if you're picking up a denim jacket, Jesus Christ, what's that, like 30, 40 quid? So they've kind of priced me out now. If it was still £12 a kilo, I'd definitely pop down the road and just see if I can grab some stuff. But yeah, it's just nuts now. I don't know if you've been to one, James.
I haven't. Again, I've seen them advertised in Woking near me, and Guildford, which is near me, and it's about the same price. I think it's £20 a kilo. I can't go and justify it. It would stress me out because I would actually find some good stuff in there. I'll be like, oh yeah, I know this sells well. And then when you weigh it all in, and you're up to like £100, and you're like, oh, I'm paying like £18-20 a piece now. And then when you start working out the maths, you're like, oh, actually, I'm not going to make profit on this one. And I would be drawn to things like Carhartt jackets, which is just the worst thing to buy from kilo sales.
Yeah, if you get an active jacket, 3XL, like that's going to weigh an absolute ton. My kilo sale is free entry, £15 per kilo. See, that's a bit more reasonable. You also get a loyalty card when you have, that's what I used to do, stamps, and you get the next visit for £10 per kilo. If it was a £20 per kilo and it was all unbelievable stuff, like guaranteed unbelievable stuff, then I'm going to go.
You're talking about like 80s and 90s football shirts. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, like they weigh nothing and they're worth like well over 100 quid. Like what that Ben Threads, I don't know if you follow him, but he picked up on the weekend I think it was about 80s rugby shirts, like South Africa, 80s Denmark shirts. And then the newspaper like reached out to him as well. Because I've been seeing that a lot lately. I don't know if you have, but when people have crazy hauls, like a guy went into a charity shop and Bukayo Saka's training gear and blazer and everything was in the charity shop. And then they did a piece in the newspaper about it.
Mate, why has no one reached out to me about my coffee machine sale yesterday then? Like, where's the Daily Star?
Yes.
I want to be in the Daily Star, looking like drinking my coffee.
Yeah, let's carry it. Let's see what
Mate,
that's a great
Read
sell.
Secret Carper's one there.
Trying to get the previous ones first, but
I need to open up a car boot sale today. I'm doing it.
Be happy to pay 50 quid if I could get in an hour early. That power hour is so worth it, and as an everything seller, I think. Right, is he joking or is he being serious?
No, do you know what? The term which is really important there, as an everything seller, because I completely agree. Because even now, I've started to pick up some more everything stuff again. I'm doing like 5 into 80. I'm doing like 6 into 40. I'm doing 1 into 50. Like, I think it's quite hard to do that with clothing. You've got to be very lucky to pick up something on clothing, which is like 5 into 80 at a car boot sale. I think as an everything seller, you can do that a lot more. But then you struggle at the back end when it comes to like testing, listing, packing. So there's pros and cons to both. But yeah, if there was a £50 early entry and you get an hour power hour, say there is, I don't know, 8 rows all set up ready to go. I agree with Secret Carper. I don't think a lot of people are paying the £50 early entry. I'll be one of them, mate, in the queue looking at you being like, what an idiot paying 50 quid. But I'll be so jealous. You'll be like, see you later, mate. I'm off. I'm like,
yeah, I'll be like that. I'll be like that from the distance. I'll be like, fall back.
Yeah, you'd be like, I've got a gold bar for 10p and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Mate,
I think there's a limit where it does put off people paying it, resellers' point of view. Even 20 quid for me, I'd probably find another car boot sale. I can't lie.
Mate, this better not hit the car boot owners. Like, they'll end up being a bidding system where, like, right, so
imagine this.
Half
they
an hour
for this podcast.
They're like, right, half hour, 45 minutes. Actually, you'll get an hour early, right? Bids. Come on, who wants it?
Oh, can you imagine that? They said we've got 10 spots for the first hour, and there's like 50 of you in the queue. You've got a bid on who's going to take the spot. How much would you pay? That's the question. How much would you pay? Because as a reseller, you'd want to beat your competition. If you see Joe, I don't even know Joe. If you see Joe standing next to you and you're like, Joe always gets the like Patagonia stuff. Like, Joe, you need to chill out. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll pay a tenner. You better believe I'm paying 15. I want to get in there before Joe this week.
I'd if it was solely you, so you get an hour. Everyone else is still in the queue, but you get an hour. One person. I'm not even hesitating at 50. What
about 100? So you get an hour in there on your own, £100, and you get to also mug off the other resellers in the queue. You get to wave at them, stick your finger up if you want. You can go and show people what you found, and they can't do anything about it.
No, I think that's principle. I think you're drunk. If you're charging 100 quid, then that's 50 quid for 1 hour by yourself. Other than that, and 100 quid, everyone else has to go home.
Oh, so you literally just rent the car boots out. Everyone's got to go.
Yeah, okay. For a one-er. For a one-er, everyone's got to get in their cars and go home.
Can you imagine that? Sorry, guys. Yeah, see you later, lads. What the hell, mate? Like, this guy.
All right, Andy's pitch fees are 17 to 25 quid. And see what I mean? We need to go. I think it's Sunderland. Well, mate, his car boot. I'm not even joking. I think one time he said it's like 4 hours to get round it. It is honestly ridiculous. We need to go up there. I need to see this.
Mate, Dirty Dunnan, yeah, is like an hour and a half journey for me. The alarm goes off at 3. And even I like cuss that place down quite a lot, especially in the afternoon when I come back and I'm knackered. I'm like, oh, hour and a half's a long drive. Do you know how far Sunderland is from us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's probably like 5 hours drive.
Just say, oh, do you know what? I fancy it today. We'll have to leave at midnight to get there. And then we'll turn up and it'll be like, oh, shit, we didn't check the weather. It's called off. Right.
No, that has to be a last minute thing, I think. I think we've got to think, oh, right, so weather's looking 100% bang on.
Right.
And then we just take up there.
Oh, mate, I'm all up for it. Just make sure you come swing by me first or pick me up so I can nap in your car during it. I'm all for it. And you'll turn up knackered and I'll clean up.
Might as well get a flight up there.
Why not? Yeah.
All right, I would want to. All right, let me see. This is Debs. This is my mate at Amwell. I would want early entry fees banned at Amwell. There's a particular seller that gets in early and goes around buying all the good stuff, jumping into the bag of sellers' vans. I
That's a
definitely
loop.
don't go into
That's
the
a
back
loop.
of a. I can't stand all that stuff. So if there's something sticking out the back of someone's boot or whatever, I'll ask the question. But the whole diving into the back of vans, I mean, that went in the bin, didn't it, on room 101?
Yeah, and then Deb's just called you out.
Yeah, Deb's she's calling me out. Yeah, I see it for the first time in a couple of weeks the other day. 25 is good value if you get in an hour. So Xander's saying good value, mate. I've got a few backers, but not many. I'm selling on Sunday and pay 17 for a car entry at 10 a.m. It's £25 for a car and 9 early buyers enter at 9:30. Yeah, you need that time. Previous owners at Amwell used to check boots, make sure people are actually sellers. The new owners introduced early entry fees. It's changed a lot. It's changing everywhere. I mean, these models are crazy. Like I said, the one of £15 is mental. They can make some serious money. Tommy, you're hitting multiple a day at times too. Could only get early access to one, or do they have staggered starts throughout the day? Well, I mean, you went to Dunton. It's just standard 5 o'clock. If they did it any earlier than that, it's crazy. But
Mate,
you went to that, and then you got.
You say standard 5 o'clock, yeah. There's people
Yeah,
in that car boot sale are like 4. Seriously, people in there at 4.
Absolutely mental. Right. Making car boot contacts reduces pressure to get in early for me. Yeah, 100%. It's basically like the golden ticket. If you can get contacts, which I'm trying to work on so much, but saying to James, like, I don't know if I feel like I'm running out of time, but because I just feel like as soon as the winter hits, and someone said on the live on Instagram, it's like, have you spoke about your strategy for when the car boot closes? And I think that could be an hour, 2 hours by itself, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll have to do a podcast on that one. Because it's not doom and gloom. I think a lot of people say, the car boot sale closes down in like September time. There's so many other opportunities and there's so many indoor ones. You just got to find them.
Yeah, TJR saying this is kilo sales, I'm guessing. So they capped the price of the Carhartt jacket would be 20 quid. That's a pick up all day. Yeah, certain ones, 100%.
Yeah.
Probably most of them actually. So I didn't know that was a thing. I thought as soon as it goes over a kilo, then they'll add it on. You'll never get unbelievable stuff as all the stock has already been sold in bales and through the handpick several times before it hits kilo sales. Traveling ones are the worst. Yeah, crazy. I mean, yeah, their models probably. I mean, they have their own websites and everything like that as well. But yeah, there's still quite a lot of people saying stuff about all of that. But I want to get on to the other stuff as well. Actually, we'll touch a little bit on the research side of things, and then we'll go into the my trip to eBay HQ tomorrow, which is going to be fun. But yeah, research this week, mate, because we haven't spoke like this about it properly. We've just been doing the research in the morning and then going about our days. So how has it been helping you? Because we was chatting yesterday, and the fact that we haven't actually come across anything at the car boots that we've been researching, but we was talking a little bit about the fact that it slowed us down a lot, and we're looking on the rails a little bit more. We're being a bit more careful, but I feel like I've retained quite a lot, and we've done about 5 or 6 days, maybe something like that so far.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And I think it's breeded the confidence with me as well, more so with the clothing bits, because I know the brands that everyone knows, and I keep saying it. I know the brands that All Saints, that Reese, all the stuff that we always pick up, everyone. But there's so many brands I've discovered that I've looked at the sell through, and it's like, wow, I'm sure I've seen this at the car boot before. Some of the standout ones, obviously, Turbulent Assa for me was a completely new brand. A lot of people will know it, but for me, I've just never come across it. And I looked at that brand and I'm like, these shirts will be at loads of car boot sales, because all weekend, anytime I saw a dress shirt, I was flicking through. And in my head, there was only one brand I was looking to find. Yes, I was looking for the other brands. Yes, I was picking up the other stuff, but I was looking for Turnbull Assa the whole time. Beforehand, I didn't even know it existed. So I would have probably flicked through that many times. There's probably a store who had like 5 of these, and I just disregarded them because without knowing. But other things as well. Doing the research yesterday on the wallpaper, which was mad. Like, I've always looked at Laura and Ashley's the only one worth really picking up. And yesterday I discovered 10 other brands outside of Laura and Ashley that actually I'm going to look at now to always buy at car boots. Cole and Son, I spoke about it yesterday on the live, and we're not going to give away all these brands on here because we're trying to encourage you guys to come on the live with us on Instagram. And this is why we don't re-upload it, because we want you guys to also do the research as well, whether it's the same things we're doing, whether it just gets you in the mindset of doing it. Because for Luke and I, we've been saying about doing this research for a year and a half. We need to dedicate time to research. Only way we're going to get better by research. And we've never done it. But by actually having the accountability has been huge, where there's some days, honestly, I felt like, do you know what? I can't be bothered. Haven't really got time. But I'll just message you and just say, like, when are we doing the research? We've got to do it. And we're like, half an hour's time? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go live. Like, we're going to go live straight away after this. Because if we don't, we'll push it back. And we'll say, let's just do double tomorrow. And then tomorrow never happens. So that accountability for me has been really good, really important. But yeah, the slowing down the car boot is huge. I take my time now a lot more at the car boot because I have more confidence finding brands that I've never heard of before. And yeah, Rucker, I picked up 20 Rucker pieces at the weekend. And so, yeah, I'm set for life.
Yeah, just like James. I mean, I was doing that, Andy. I was just looking around for Rucker. Anyone that doesn't know, Rucker is an insane brand for motorcycle gear. But yeah, I mean, looking at the side of my notes, I was doing fishing shirts last, and before that it was button-up shirts, golf stuff, motorcycle, denim jackets, and hiking boots brands. So we started off a bit rogue. I think you went dress shoes, and then I went hiking shoes. But it's because we've seen a lot of them out there. So we're like, right, put it on the radar. But just like what you were saying, rather than putting it on here and then recording it or shouting the brands out and stuff like that, there's something about going into the eBay solds, going into Google, searching stuff, and like looking at the patterns of stuff, looking at the styles, and retaining it for yourself. Because you telling me Turnbull and Asa or whatever, I didn't remember it. Like I didn't. But then when I did the research myself, looked at the styles, looked at the tag, looked at the like the hip care labels, looked at all that sort of stuff, then I started retaining it. Like what's popular within that. So yeah, I think doing that every single day. But even then, like before we go live next, I'll look back at fishing stuff from yesterday, try and retain it a little bit. But
yeah, what was the fishing brand you found yesterday that you were trying to search up and research and educate people, just so we can tell everyone on YouTube, lad?
Oh, what you mean? What I called the style of jacket?
Yeah, what was it called again?
I thought it was wadding jacket, but you said it was wadding jacket.
It's wading.
It's not either.
So yeah, you were like saying to me yesterday, like, oh,
I've had a mare.
Wadding jacket, and I was looking up wadding jacket fishing. I was like, I can't find it. What's he going on about? I was like,
wait, let me get it up.
Is it wading?
Yeah.
Like he means like wading jackets and wading trousers with fishing. You're like, yeah, that might be it. So yeah, guys, come along for the research, and also tag us in some of the stuff you've heard us talk about. If you go out and find Cole and Son wallpaper, wadding jackets, Turbalassa, I don't know, herring dress shoes, like tag us on Instagram in that stuff, because the research is good for us, but we hope it offers value for you guys as well. And I know a lot of you have said you found it useful. I know Tommy's mentioned it as well, and hopefully you guys can come across some of the stuff we're talking about as well. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I think, I mean, whether we pick something up now or we pick something up in a month's time, I just think getting that, because I mean, I honestly reckon like 99.9% of people are not doing this. They're not doing the daily research, not building on it daily. And
it was us.
No, that was us for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I honestly think we've been saying that for so long. And I'm like, even if we do half an hour, even if we do 45 minutes of not fully concentrating, we've got the live on. And the concept of doing it live was us to be accountable. It wasn't for us to go live and do something like this, because we already do this now. We have a laugh, we speak about topics and stuff like that. So when you come in to watch us do it on Instagram, it's not that interactive. It's not that like entertaining or whatever. We'll still like, it's definitely become more of that, but like it's more so for us to sit down and do the work. That is what it is. Because if we do it live in front of you guys, and we actually speak about what we're doing, speak about what we're researching, and you know that we're going live around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that, we're getting the work done. We're not just going to sit there and not do it. So yeah, it's helped so much.
Do you know what's also helps as well is, and I didn't really think about this before we came up with this idea to do it, is the amount of stuff that people are educating us with during that live as well. So say we're going to talk about dress shoes, or we're going to talk about hiking shoes, for instance, the amount of comments and stuff that you guys are putting in with brands that are educating us and getting us to look things up, I've learned so much from not just Luke, not just from my own research, but also from you guys putting the brands, which is also good because getting you guys thinking about it, we're sharing with you guys, you're sharing with us. And as I said, part of the reason we don't upload it is because we want to share the information with the people who are doing the research at the same time or coming in and sharing stuff with us as well, compared to just doing on Instagram and then just putting out there to everyone else as well. So yeah, please keep coming in them lives and sharing your knowledge.
Just to relate it to something else, we don't speak about the group that often, but they have a deep dive document in the group. And in order to obtain that deep dive document, where an individual person will research and do a deep dive on a brand and then put it within that document, in order to have access to that, you have to do a deep dive yourself. So it's kind of related to that, where we're doing the research and then someone coming in, maybe doing the research themselves, they can then like listen to us, or you'll get something out of it if you come into it, but nowhere near as much as if you're doing it yourself. So
yeah, and also as well on that flip side, and the deep dive document in the group is protected. So you're right, to get that deep dive document, you've got to do a deep dive every single month to get re-access to that document. And look, I'm as guilty as you are with regards to, we have not put any effort into getting into that document by doing deep dives because we wasn't doing the research. But there's no reason now that we can't do a half an hour deep dive to put into that document to get access, because there's so many brands on there that, again, we will learn and be able to discover more. So that's something I'm going to put an effort into this month, by the end of the month, to actually get access to that document, so I can actually learn more brands as well from what other people have done, the research other people have done. But it's one of them things, isn't it, where I like the fact you've got to put effort in, because we've all been in that situation where you have a message on Instagram and they'll say, can you tell me the top 10 things I should pick up and buy? Like, what's your BOLO list? And you've spent hours and hours and hours over years making that list, putting it together. So yeah, it's one of them things where you've got to put the work in to get it. It's not given for free.
yeah, I mean, we could have done, in all the niches that we picked or all the individual subcategories, we could have easily spent 2, 3, 4 hours on it. But the thing is, with this, we always had this excuse where, oh, I haven't got time. In reality, it's just boring as hell. So we've made it a little bit more entertaining with the live, a little bit more accountable. But where you do have 15 minutes, you do have half an hour, you do have 45 minutes within your day. So I might be an absolute slob on there eating at times while I'm doing it or whatever, but like, I'm just making sure that I get it done. So yeah, let me see. I think Matt was saying, are you guys building your own deep dive documents for brands? I mean, at the minute, I've literally just been putting them in the notes on my Mac, and then just labeling it fishing shirts or button up shirts or anything like that. And then every single day that I'm doing it, I'll go over those brands, not comps wise. I'll just look at it and then try and remind myself what I did the day before, and then move on to the next one. And whether you put it in a Excel or whether you put it in a Word, I haven't really thought about that, James, but I think just that's probably good enough for me at the minute.
Do you know what? Having it on notes is where I want to keep it, because the reason being is it transfers straight onto your phone as well if you're connected up. So at the car boot sale, I can be flicking through dress shirts with my phone open on notes. So not having to type on eBay every single brand, but I've got a list of 15 or 20 dress shirts. When I'm flicking by, I can quickly glance at notes and be like, oh yeah, that's one on there, grab that, if I need to do it. But a lot of them will just stick. The more you look at it, they'll just start to stick a bit.
The information you guys are sharing is that research. In that research is often only found behind a paywall. You are doing this for free and have so much real value. I appreciate that, mate. But this is honestly all we're doing is the stuff that we would be doing like ordinarily anyway. And just the fact that this stuff is free to do. You can go on eBay, you can type in dress shirts, you can type in dress shoes, hiking boots, anything like that. We're not doing anything special. So you know, we might as well just share it. But this isn't really a full-on sharing thing. It honestly is a selfish thing. It's for us to be
purely.
It's us to be accountable. So if you guys want to get in on it, then you're only going to benefit 15, 20 minutes, half an hour of you researching a certain niche or anything like that. Honestly, like, you'll retain something. And if you don't look at it the following day, then you'll get something out of it. And I've always thought that the top 1%, the top 0.1% of people, I think, to get within that and to, you know, be within this reselling business or whatever like that for the long term, I think you have to do stuff like this. Otherwise, you're just going to get left behind with everything like rising costs, like cost of living, and just getting better. Like, I think you have to do stuff like this because we could increase the knowledge by going to charity shops, by going to car boots. How time consuming is that? Getting out the phone, doing the research when you're there, possibly getting caught slipping, someone else comes in. It's just doing the research prior to it and understanding it a little bit. You're always going to pull your phone out of car boots. I feel like there's even times now where I'm still doing it, but yeah, just getting ahead of the game.
And that's the thing at car boots as well. Like, yeah, we all pull the phone out, maybe turn our back or at the stall, like slyly look at comps for stuff we do not know. But if you've got the edge on so many more items you do know, you can be off to the next stall while the next reseller's standing there with their phone out looking at everything. So yeah, just gain the edge. That's what it comes down to, gain the edge. And you're right, Luke. We do it for a selfish point of view because if I message you and said, right, mate, don't forget half an hour research today, like me, you'll say, yeah, I'm on it. And you'll make a cup of coffee. You'll watch a bit of YouTube. You'll look at a couple of bits and finish it and just kind of lie to yourself to say, yeah, you've done enough today.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Okay, I'm gonna hide that one for now, Andy. But I'm gonna put some down the side just because they're slightly unrelated. I want to get on to, so tomorrow I'm going to be going to eBay HQ, and they've given me an itinerary. They've told me what the kind of trip is, but it's basically called a fashion seller event. But don't be put off by the fact it's fashion. For you everything sellers or just people that want to know stuff about eBay, you can ask your questions. So I'm going to read out the email just because it's got someone's email address in it. So I'm going to read it out and then I'm going to share the itinerary, and it's only got the guy's first name on it. So this is what they sent to me first of all. So we're delighted to invite you to the first ever exclusive in-person fashion seller event at the London office. During the exclusive invite-only event, you will have the opportunity to meet our fashion team, hear about progress year to date, and what we've planned for Q. It says H2. I don't know what that means, but we will have updates from our shipping, marketing, and advertising teams, as well as plenty of time afterwards to chat with the team. We plan to kick things off at 1 p.m., wrap up the content around 4, but love for you to stay for drinks and nibbles and all that kind of stuff. So that's the event tomorrow. So it's from 1 till 4, and then I'm going to share the itinerary now. I've got to make sure that I block out the guy's thingy. But yeah, the main reason I wanted to share this is because there's a Q&A section for an hour. And last time it was probably 5 minutes with me interrupting the whole way through because there was no... It was basically showing you how to do stuff, like how to do a newsletter, how to put on a coupon, all this basic stuff, when apparently you've got top sellers within the room. So very basic stuff, when really we wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of specific questions, specific stuff that's happening, what are your plans, all the good stuff. That's what we wanted. So let me just share the screen. Can you see it all right?
You need to move us.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all good.
Right, so this is the agenda. So don't care about that. eBay, so 1:15. So the fashion team will share our activations to date and opportunities for H2 2024. So a little bit about the pre-love partner program, industry trade insight, and app updates. That's something that they said is going to be exciting coming towards the end of the year. So improvements within the app, updates from marketing team. Apparently there's going to be, so the eBay ads team is going to share a new feature available, and also their recommendations. And then so the ads team and the shipping team on new updates as well for business sellers and their tips for Black Friday and Christmas. Then this is the important part, the Q&A section. So there's this link here which basically says, do you have questions for eBay? So whether it's around shipping, whether it's around app updates, whether it's around marketing, everything like that. The main reason for me sharing this is because I want to go with as many questions as possible. I'm going to probably annoy the hell out of them with questions, just like I did last time. But I want good questions. I want really good questions to be asked them. No basic stuff. Like, if you guys want to go in about the whole private seller stuff, but don't make it about moaning. Make it about, I don't know, potential stuff that they can do for business sellers and things like that. Like, what stuff do you want to be asking them? That's the main thing that I'm asking here. So put it in the chat below. Also put it in the comments if you're watching on the replay, because I'm going to be going tomorrow, 1 p.m. So make sure it's done, preferably if you're watching this tonight or whenever, make sure it's done by tomorrow morning. So then I've got enough stuff to go to them with.
What you should really do is do a community post on your YouTube channel with that question being posed as well, to get people asking some questions that you can share in. But the hour Q&A never seems long enough, does it? Because it's just a way for them to deflect for an hour. I remember you saying last time, and I remember Simon being there and watching it online as well, and it's just like a deflection thing. And in the end, didn't they like basically ignore your hand? Did they basically say like, we can't be asked for this guy anymore?
It was I don't know, because I felt like I was annoying them, but they was running so far behind on their presentation because literally, you can ask Simon, he's in the chat, I think. My hand was up all the time because none of it, it was so basic. It's like at eBay Open when I was getting frustrated with like the talks and I kept coming out. It's great for beginners, but we're here. Like, I've traveled all the way down here. Say all the way down here, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. Apparently, you've got like top sellers within the room, and we're talking about putting a coupon on, and we're talking about a newsletter. And I'm like, no, like the main thing is we've got the heads of shipping, we've got the heads of advertising, we've got the head of pre-loved. Like, these are the people we want to be speaking to. And then Q&A was like proper Q&A, 5-10 minutes after a rushed presentation. But they know it was embarrassing, and they was embarrassed by it. So this is the reason for this. And now apparently it's going to make it a lot better. But how much better, I don't know. But I just want good questions to go with.
Yeah, and it's so easy just to put the questions forward to Luke, such as why doesn't eBay protect its business sellers? Why are private sellers getting no fees and stuff like that? But it's more the fact of how eBay, I guess, can improve the platform. Like, what is missing that eBay needs to work on?
Yeah, I mean, like, because we can all sit here and like moan about the private sellers and everything, but yeah, this is for business sellers. So this is for business sellers with the heads. So what they want to know, because they have decision power here. I don't think in Australia or America they quite have that, or Australia has to go by America's rules, everything like that. We can make decisions here, so they can make decisions. So they just want to know really from us what's going to help us. So it might be, I don't know, something to do with the monthly fee. So our business accounts. I mean, currently we're paying what, 90 quid, over 90 quid a month. The fact that they're, private sellers are paying zero, and they haven't got no monthly, like, just, I don't know, just anything
on the private seller thing. Because I know we had a little bit of a rant on it on Instagram, I think it was. I spoke about it on the group on Thursday, and it was a real mixed response. Some people were kind of saying, don't worry about it, what does it matter? Like, these private sellers aren't going to be able to list items the same level we are. They're not going to be listing in volumes like we are and stuff. But my frustration is I know a lot of business sellers now run clothing stores on private accounts. And I don't blame them for it. When I say this, don't blame them at all. Because there was a time when I thought, and I even spoke to you about it, open up a second eBay account, private, just done all my clothing on that, and kept this one as my everything account and just had 2 stores. So I completely get why people do it. The frustration for me is, and it has always been, not about what they're getting, it's about what we're not getting. So since everything's happened, there's been no reach out to business sellers. There's been no reduction in fees. And then when you're seeing emails go out to private sellers basically saying, start a business account with us today and we're going to give you 6 months free, like store fee. 6 months without paying the £90 a month, whatever. You start to feel a bit like, so do the business sellers actually mean anything to eBay this day and age? And look, you and I have always been eBay's #1 fan. And I still am. I think eBay is still #1 platform to resell stuff. I don't think anywhere competes. There's an argument for Vinted, but I think, yes, things sell quicker on Vinted, but the back end is crap. The customer service is terrible. Right now, you've got no like international GSP option or anything such as that. So my pushback is always a case of, fine, you want to help the private sellers. You're trying to bring more people onto eBay. I get the strategy behind it, 100%. But where is the extra gain support for the business sellers? Where is the do you know what? We've offered the private sellers free shop fee for 6 months, but as a valued business seller, we're going to give you hard price fees for 6 months. Hard price shop fee, not final value fee, but your shop is now going to be half price for 6 months. Or we've understand as business sellers actually need more free listings, so we're going to up it to 2,500 a month for free. Doesn't help me right now, but there's some business sellers who creep over to 1,500 and have to pay. So there's lots of things I think eBay needs to support the business sellers, but I'm sick of kind of trying to worry and fight the private sellers. Nothing's going to change by the moaning side. I just hope at this kind of event or at the eBay Open, they actually start to think more and offer the business sellers more. But I reckon, do you know what I think it's going to be? And it's going to sound crazy. I reckon they're going to up our package coupon to £15 a month. That's my prediction. They're going to go from a £10 a month coupon on that store to £15 a month, and they're going to see that as a piece in the business sellers.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's got to be something, mate. I've been backing them all the time, the whole way. I mean, and then when the private sellers got the 0, I was still backing it. But then when you sent that email or you sent a screenshot of that saying that they get 6 months, they get the seller hub. I'm like, there's no difference now. Like there's now like no.
We're level playing field.
It is completely level. Completely level.
You know that is okay. So a few things that people have said about this email, that is switching the private sellers over to a business account. And there's a couple of things I've heard. You don't have an option. So if you do not accept moving on to a business account, eBay will just basically kick you off the platform because they deem you not as a private seller. That's a good thing. I like that. That's a win for eBay. But I heard something crazy as well. Supposedly, it was a glitch and it was never meant to go out to people. So now people are actually saying like, oh, okay, so they're not actually going to do anything about it. Is that your background noise or mine?
It's so bad, mate. Like, they're like, I don't know whether they're drilling. Is it loud?
No, it sounds like ice cream van music.
Oh, no, it's not me. No, it's like a full-on drill.
Oh, but, no, I can't hear it now. That's good. It's gone.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, Tommy's saying, you say nothing changes about moaning, but that's our culture. Basically, it's like, you know, like if you kick off in a restaurant, they'll give you stuff for free or they'll knock stuff off the bill. You know, like if you moan, if you kick up a fuss,
but can I tell you,
if there's competition in the other, if there's competition down the road, huh?
We're nothing. We're small fry. What I mean, kicking off is saying I'm leaving eBay and I'm going to move all my stuff to a new platform. Do you really think if Bold-Clobber moves all his stuff onto Amazon or onto Depop or onto anywhere else, do you think eBay are going to ring you up and be like, "Oh, Luke, we miss you, please"? We are nothing. That's what it comes down to, and it would take all the business sellers to leave the platform for eBay to potentially react. 1 or 2 people kicking off and leaving, eBay don't care.
But the stuff they're offering is not like across the board. I listened to Luxury Pickers podcast. They offered them 6 months free, no fees. And I'm not quite sure if they knocked off the business account per month, but they didn't mention that. So probably not. They rung up the car boot guy and they said to him that we'll give you 6 months, no business account, monthly fee. Do you know what I mean? It's just, whereas like, say like Vinted, when they come out with Pro, it's probably just going to be flat, isn't it? There's going to be none of that stuff happening.
I don't think Vinted Pro is ever coming.
It is.
We've been talking about Vinted Pro for about a year. When's Vinted Pro turning up?
Right, let's see what right, so that's one. What's your approach towards eBay at the Open regarding this free? So that's gonna be about the Open. So that could be, I mean, that's probably a question that I can ask them at the thing, but we're gonna do a special because the Open is less than a month away, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have a massive episode on that. And also I think we're probably gonna go live at the Open as well. So yeah, we'll discuss a little bit more about that probably in the next couple of weeks, Andy.
Do you know, I was thinking about that live and I was thinking it's not going to be possible, but imagine we can get one of the eBay reps who does like a talk to actually come and sit with us at the Open and to answer some of them tough questions. But I don't think they're allowed to do it because it's kind of representing the business. And they say the wrong thing and it goes out on YouTube land.
Yeah, I'm going to ask the guy that I've been speaking to. And then also, I don't know the head of pre-love that well, but I reckon I'll probably just ask her anyway. Matthew, it's quite simple. If they offer no fees for private sellers in the clothing category, they should offer the same for business sellers because the required promoted listing rate is only going up. Yeah, the minimum jumped, didn't it? Not that long ago.
Yeah, it's really difficult because then if they, I mean, the annoying thing when they started all this is they use the reason of sustainability for the reason they're doing it, because they're trying to keep clothing out of landfill, basically. And if they really cared about that deep down, they would have made the whole category no fees, but they haven't. So
yeah, it was just ironic last time I went there because they said these were the exact words: business sellers are the heartbeat of eBay. And I don't know, mate. I just feel like we're getting crushed all the time.
But the thing is, we're getting crushed all the time. But if I said to you right now, like, mate, maybe we need to find another platform, we both straight away say no because eBay is still the GOAT.
It's almost a monopoly. Main thing is EU regulation stuff. That could be a talking point as well. That could be a big talking point. Just mate, with
honestly, that looks like you need a degree to work out how to fill all them forms.
It just looks like a car crash, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gentleman marketeer, what are the future plans for the mobile app? How can eBay draw in younger buyers? And that's a key thing as well. I mean, even the older buyers as well. So many people, because of the user experience on Vinted, the app is going to be huge going forward.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I won't say it live. I think they're working on something.
Definitely are. The fact they make you submit your questions before means they are only going to answer what they want to talk about. Yeah, I mean, Simon will back that up because last time we after the in-person one, we then did a virtual one, funnily enough, and then they disabled the chat. So they did their presentation, disabled the chat. We weren't able to ask them something. The one before that, Simon put in a pretty ruthless one, but I still think they should have asked it, or they should have answered it. Chose not to. So yeah, we're in front of them this time.
What I'm going to ask, and I'm not going to get you to ask it. I'm going to ask at the open if it's not covered. I'm going to say, can you explain why private sellers get 1,000 free listings a month? And can you find me someone who is a private seller who is listing 1,000 items a month as a private seller, all the same size, all from her wardrobe or his wardrobe? They don't need 1,000 listings, so that's encouraging people to run a business on a private account.
Let's go down. What actually is determining metrics to be ranked in search? Accurate keywords, being a business seller, top rated, paying more and promoted, having item specifics filled out.
All plays a part. I think the title is so key, but it all adds up. If I've got the most accurate keywords, I'm a business seller who's top rated, and I'm paying 10, 15, 20% promotion, and my item specifics all filled out, I'm going to appear above someone who's just listed Nike t-shirt blue.
Yeah,
I
mean, I just think that's so easy to get around. Asking them something like that. The questions I was asking them last time, it was almost causing them to really stand there and think, and then it was just a basic answer and just deflecting it on something different. So yeah, I'd like questions that really stumble them, where it puts them not so much in an uncomfortable position, but yeah, I don't know. I just want really good stuff to ask them. But yeah, some of these are good. Should ask them, can you be in the next eBay ad on?
I'm trying to think of who you look like from a celebrity point of view, because I've been called a few things, celebrity wise, but I can't work out who you look like.
Why can't I charge more than £3? Can you not more than £3.50 postage in the video game category?
Gaming stuff. I remember that. You used to sell like games consoles and want to put like $5.99 postage, and you can't. It's capped. That's terrible. That's like such a simple change, Lee, isn't it? It's mad.
That is ridiculous. If you skip the specifics and I pay more to promote, will I still rank higher? Skip the specifics. Wow. Probably wouldn't, but
also yeah. One thing I will say, because Tech mentioned this as well, eBay wants to make sure the algorithm offers a fair advantage to everyone. And the moment they start telling you stuff that, yeah, if you promote at 12% and you don't do item specifics, it doesn't matter. People are just going to play the system. So you'll never find out the answer.
Do you have a strategy for clothing sellers when Vinted Pro launches? Yeah, that question. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Because I mean, like I said last time when I was speaking about when I spoke to them, is the first time I've ever heard them mention another platform. They've never spoke about another platform ever. And then without me saying anything, they mentioned Vinted. So it's finally on the radar.
They're
And I
scared.
think
They are scared of Vinted, and this is why they reached out to a lot of people offering them a contract with reduced fees because they're scared. They are scared of Vinted as a player in the game, and I think Vinted is great competition for eBay. I love the competition now it's created because eBay now has to start thinking a bit more. I think beforehand they didn't have to worry because there was no one who competed.
young people will never use the current eBay app. There's a reason they prefer Depop and Vinted. It's easy to look out and at and navigate. Yeah, and the guy that I spoke to as well, he loves the guy that works for eBay. He loves Vinted, and he wishes he could bring that over to eBay. So that tells you something, doesn't it? Problem is, eBay knows that established business sellers operate their livelihoods on the platform. They don't need to make great offers for us because we are not going anywhere. It feels like that as well. Yeah. Because I mean, I said that to them. I was like, I've been on your platform. I don't cross list. I don't sell anywhere else. And like, yeah, I just feel like, why am I backing it all the time? So, but if you kick up a fuss, I've seen people get benefits that way. And that's what I don't like. But if you could ask, if you're not happy, the private sellers get free fees, put your hands up in the room, and that would show eBay everyone don't like it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great change. Yeah. It's not even just moaning, it's forecasting. More private sellers means more people promoting listings, means less sales per percentage given away. So private sellers start with a 15% head start. Are you fearful of private sellers? Like, do you see that as massive competition? Because to be honest, I don't.
No, it's not. It's not even the fear because this is my first thing. The frustration is not out of fear. I do not think private sellers are necessarily going to have the edge on us business sellers when it comes to sales. You know, a lot of private sellers aren't going to offer 60-day return. A lot of private sellers aren't going to, if you do it, offer free postage. A lot of private sellers aren't going to add 20 photos to the listing. They're not going to know all the keywords. They're not going to write a good title for a lot of time. So I think regardless if they promote at that 15% or whatever, I think, yeah, they're going to get sales. My frustration comes out of, I do not care what they're offering private sellers deep down. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect my life. What I care about is what they're not doing for business sellers. Like the feedback protection's another crazy one. They're still not protecting business accounts with like rogue feedback. And it's got to the point now, mate, when I get a bad feedback, I don't even bother trying to fight it anymore. It's at that point. I'm like, do you know what? If I'm 99.3%, so be it. Where I used to be like, I can't be below 100%. Like, no one's going to buy from me. And now I'm like, do you know what? There's no point arguing with it anymore. So that's something that I'm more interested in. But yeah.
Yeah, Tommy's saying it does feel like since the Vinted rise, eBay has actually been much more active in trying new things and making gradual improvements to things. Might not be right 100%, but at least they're moving. Yeah, and I'd also like to bring up, because to be honest, that pisses me off as well. Like, I know you're saying, you know, they're heading in the right direction kind of thing, but exactly this, like Chris is saying, eBay are reactionary. Nothing happens until they actually need to react to something. And that's been it. That is literally it. Because Vinted have been moving, because Vinted, the whole experience on there, because of the zero fees, everything like that, then they bring everything in. Then they offer stuff. And then they make changes. Nothing is proactive. It's just they're very worried, I think, at the minute.
And I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's too late now. You know, I'm going to move over to Vinted. I'm doing this on Vinted. I guarantee if eBay make the right changes, people won't go anywhere. Yeah, you might cross-post. Don't get me wrong. But people have been doing that anyway for years. Cross-posting with ZipSale and other websites anyway. So, look, when Vinted Pro comes out, will I be moving my items onto there as well as eBay? Absolutely. And it's the first platform I've ever thought to myself, I will put stuff on there as well. Whether it'll be cross-listed, I don't know yet. It might just be certain things I chuck onto Vinted.
Yeah. I showed my 10-year-old nephew how to work eBay in a few minutes, listing, sold, research. He got it in a few minutes and was away checking his own stuff. Kids pick up app stuff fast. Yeah, compared to the actual, like, you say eBay in a few minutes listings? Yeah, I mean, you can show. It's just so much more complicated than
Yeah.
Vinted. It's so much more complicated. But like I said, if you spend a couple of minutes on it, then you can teach people it, because people have employees and stuff like that. So massive companies who don't innovate and listen to clients needs have fallen before. No one is invincible. They used to be innovators, but are now reactors, which is never good in business. I don't think eBay will be taken over though. Like, I still feel like even if they do react, like, I mean, no one's ever going to be at the top forever. But
I also think John asked there question to ask him, how you retain my business when Vinted Pro opens, and I have one answer for John: customer service.
Shocking.
Because honestly, Vinted customer service is the worst customer service I've ever experienced in my life. From a seller, right? I'm sure from a seller's perspective as well as a buyer's perspective. At least with eBay, you've got a phone number you can call and actually speak to someone. Now, whether they actually solve anything for you on the phone, who knows? But at least you can have that human-to-human interaction. I think the Vinted customer service is going to be their downfall. So they're going to have to really work on that. So, yeah, I think right now, look, Vinted's had a real rise because it's new. And some people are saying, yeah, if you look at the App Store, Vinted is ranking so much more higher than eBay. Well, I expect that because everyone's got the eBay app already. So Vinted's going to obviously rank more. I think it's good competition, but I don't think Vinted's perfect. I don't think Vinted's as perfect as people make out.
If they just invested heavily in the customer service side of things, because Adam, the flip room, he was doing like a trial, wasn't he? He was doing an experiment where he put exactly the same item with all the item specifics filled out on both the platforms for the exact same price. And you'd look at watchers and views. So obviously with Vintage, you have the hearts and you can see the views. And with eBay, you see like, the watchers and the views and everything like that as well. But Vintage performed so much better. And this was on something priced the same pictures, same everything. Like, if it gets the traffic and it's 0 fees and it's easy to list, like, you get the label prompted to you, it's an addictive platform. I can only see that going one way for business.
Yeah, I think I might message Alison, because Alison lives in France, and speak to her, and she's in the group as well. I want to speak to her more about Vinted Pro, what it actually offers them. Because Chris is saying there, Vinted Pro users must be given a dedicated customer service line to succeed, surely. I don't think she's ever mentioned that, because I think she's actually said before about the customer service on Vinted's not great. So, yeah, that'd be interesting whether there was a line to call, but I think customer service is huge for both ends. And I know the return process on Vinted is pretty simple, but also it's pretty complicated. If you have to prove something's not real and they push back, and you have to take these extra photos to prove it, and then it's kind of determined by a bot, it feels. So,
but say if they did for business sellers for Vinted Pro, I know in France, I think they're saying that it's free, but say for business sellers, they had, it's between 5 and 50 quid a month or something like that, but you had customer service in with it.
Yeah, I think it won't be free forever. One thing I will say about Vinted, I think when it gains real traction in the UK, I think they'll start introducing things. Yeah. Fee-wise. I honestly do.
The ideal situation for clothing sellers, if having a healthy eBay and healthy Vinted, the competition is very, very good for us. We don't want either to fail, but it seems inevitable. And that's why I like what Jamie's saying down here. I think people are sleeping on Depop and it's dropping its fees. I want all these platforms, I want them to raise their game. Other than eBay. The competition, competition is amazing, because we've seen what it's done. Without Vinted popping up, or even though I've backed eBay from the beginning, and I will probably always stay on eBay, unless anything crazy happens or whatever. But that kind of rise has caused this sort of stuff to happen. It's causing change. And if Depop came up, if Facebook Marketplace made a crazy revamp and that started going up as well, and I don't know, Spock and Gumtree and all this stuff started kicking off.
Instagram might come into it at some point. They're really trying to start live selling on Instagram. They're trying to push out a bit more now. So could Instagram create a reselling platform?
Instagram, you got TikTok shops, you
Yeah.
got whatnot, you got all this sort of stuff. Like
eBay
then
gun.
you, e-bike, yeah, this it's only good. So that's what I mean. We want everyone else to kind of like kickstart and start offering people, more reasonable stuff. But
Talking of eBay gum, I'm still yet to, and if Chris is still here, he'll back it as well. I'm still yet to hear from anyone who's ever sold anything on that platform. So I want to know if someone sold something on eBay gum.
all right, we'll do last one. Can eBay AI be used for logical data and not creative? Can we please train the AI to fill in specifics and read the text on label photos, etc., and leave the descriptions to the human? That'd be interesting. I still wouldn't trust it, especially at this moment. But that might be one for the future because AI is getting ridiculously crazy. So yeah, I'm probably saying in the near future that stuff will happen because it already reads pictures now as it is. So yeah.
Do you know what, the AI? I used the AI description once on eBay. I think I told you about it. So I went down the road and I picked up a golf bag from the charity shop and I listed it. I'd done the listing on the way back, walking back home, and took the picture outside by the bush. And I used the AI description just for a test. And I tell you now, it was the most wankiest description ever. It was so bad. It was like, enhance your golfing game with this beautiful Titleist bag. Like, putting your clubs in this bag will make you feel epic. Like stuff. Honestly, mate, I had to delete it out. I was like, I can't even do it as a test just to see what happens. It was terrible.
Right, we are going to switch over to Instagram. What are you going to research today?
I haven't thought about it yet, to be honest, but I want to share something. Can I do a offers game?
Yeah, go on then, mate.
Got to, if I'm allowed, mate. I know, like, you're the boss of this stream, but we've had two offers come in. I want the crew to actually decide. Let me know when it's in. Yeah, all right, so I listed this Guitar Hero this morning, and I put it up for $49.99, and I had an offer straight away. So I looked at the comps on it, and people are getting anywhere between 55 to 65 on this guitar. I brought it a weekend for £2 at the car boot, but oh no, I shared it too.
Oh, you idiot!
Sorry, I will do it for the next one. They've offered me 46 quid when it was up for $49.99.
You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing.
Well,
you're countering back at $58.99.
I know what I might do, but it's for the chat. And I know I ruined the game because I should have said what's price offered. And he was straight in at 12 quid. What are you guys doing on that one? Are you taking the 46 with $3.99 postage, by the way? Or are you, now you've looked at other comps and seen them going for like 65, are you holding out for a bit? Take the money. What would you do, Luke?
I'm taking it all day long.
Okay.
But I want to know what other people all day accepting. If you would genuinely go back though and counter that, like, please do say, because it's interesting to see what people do with that.
Take
£2, £2, and that was gone. When was that listed?
Literally 10 minutes before the podcast, and I had an offer before the podcast started.
You probably get more, but I mean, I'm £2. I'm taking that all day long and just moving on. Yeah, £2, right. I think, Tommy.
Next one. Can you still see? Hold on, let me share it back in now.
Right, don't ruin this one.
All right, sorry guys, sorry.
Off a game.
Oh, I've got three. Oh, I've got 3 offers now come through. Okay, this is weird. Right, I'm not going to ruin it. Pretty Green Jacket. I've had this one sticking around for a while. Quite an old SKU. It's up for $14.99. What's the offer on the Pretty Green going to be?
That's a down as well. There's something wrong with it.
I think it's small. It's a medium. I don't know. Is something wrong with it?
It should definitely be.
Yeah, a little hole.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I was going to say you get way more than that. I'm going £8.
$14.99. Has it got post attached? No, it's free postage on that one. 12, 10, 657 quid. Tommy, it is for the 360. Don't you go telling me now it's worth like £500. It's too late.
Off game.
10. What do you reckon? What'd you say? Sorry, mate.
8.
All right, let's find out.
Oh,
Mate, since this is a lesson, people. Since I took off my 15% coupon, I get offers like that. What do you mean it's not available?
no, I don't know. Is it? Did you actually accept it before, or go on to the
No.
notification? Have you?
Has someone paid outright for it, or
Sold.
no? It's still there. Look,
Try it again.
might be an eBay glitch.
Go on
All
to
right.
that sold notification, or was that the guitar? Must be.
Let's just check the solds. No,
Off the game. Off the game. Off the game.
unless it's fell into here. Someone's no.
Oh, okay.
Right, let's go back to offers. Let's do the last one anyway. And then we can go on to Instagram.
2 very good offers.
Berghaus 600 down jacket up for $39.99 with postage on.
28.
Here's said jacket. Few little problems with it. The wrist strap has broke. Hole there. Hole there. What we got in the chat? 12. Andy likes a 12 offer.
12. That's criminal. 28 or more. 25. Yeah, I'm going 25.
20. It's actually
20.
funny to watch. Should save all your offers just for this. Scouts Dan, this is all my offers. So don't think I've had loads this morning that have come in. 19, 15.
19.
Well, I will tell you what I will accept for $39.99. I will accept £25 and up because of the damage.
JR's going 28 or more. Accept. I'm saying what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, lovely. 3 brilliant offers.
Quick,
Can't moan about any of them.
There we are.
Yep.
Have you got any to play or dry out there?
Oh, I think we're dry on these streets. Oh, we have.
Oh, the pretty green person's paid. So I think someone brought that at full price. Yeah. Someone paid $14.99 for it. So
bloody brought it up. Oh, what an idiot.
That person missed out by a second.
No, it was a Nike top. Phone's in the way. Bloody brought it up. I clicked on the notification. It's up for 45. Brand new.
Can you not click back? Can you not click back? You're not sharing in.
Wait, let me. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Mate, we should finish all of our podcasts with the offer game. But then some weeks I'll be like, yeah, I've got nothing. Nothing to share.
No, this is mucking up. Anyway, it's 45 for a quarter zip, and then they offered 22. So I'm gonna go back on that one. But yeah, all right. What are these guys saying? Nice one, lads. Does your lowest amount you would accept change depending on the time of year, peak seasonality? Okay, depends on the way the wind blows. Right, we're going to Instagram. Bloody hell, these are getting longer, aren't they? Nearly an hour and a half.
Instagram until 10 o'clock, and I've got to go and do some stuff.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Right. Thanks for joining. Whoa, Luke's twisted around.
We're going vertical now.
Peace.
Up the Insta.
Peace.
Sweet.